everyone, welcome back to our channel. And today's video we are going to share with you a list of documentations that you need to get ready for setting up a HMO. It could be for a HMO refurbishment if you're buying something rundown and you're converting it, or it could also be for when you buy a ready-made HMO.
So make sure you get your notebook out and note down these things, as you might want to have a bit of a checklist when you get into HMOs. So first, when you want to convert a property and you do some significant refurbishments that need a building control involvement, then you need to make sure that you have a certificate of the building control that the works have been finished satisfactorily. That usually covers you for lending. A mortgage company might ask you, can you please provide us with the building control certificate?
We'll definitely ask you.
Yeah, because they want to make sure that they lend on a properly built property. And in some circumstances, it could be that you cannot use something that has been built long time ago, and just because it complied 20 years ago with building control doesn't mean that it complies today, and specifically for a HMO. It's important to note that building control varies between residential and HMO. There are some rules that apply for the residential space, but then because you use it for a HMO, there might be some slightly different rules, so you want to make sure they're up to date with that and you involve building control when doing these works. Then the next point is when you do really bigger works and you're taking out walls and you're building bigger things like an extension or a loft conversion, make sure you involve your structural engineer to provide your contractor with the right specifications for which steels are needed, which lintels are needed, and also which timber beams are needed. So all these will be relevant, well, once again, for building control. They want to see that it has been done properly and everything has been calculated, and you don't want to make that mistake where the contractor says, oh yeah, we just use our standard thing, and nothing has been documented what has been built, because after you are boarding everything up and plastering it, you don't see what is behind the walls. So make sure you have the documentation for what you actually built there.
So the next 4 certificates are actually fire hazard related. The first one is a fire door inspection, and this is usually done by an independent fire door inspector, perhaps in your area. They would come into your HMO and check on every bit of the fire door, the frames, the door closer. How does the fire door close? Does it slam shut or does it not really click shut? So they would either pass or fail the fire door, and they would also propose some repair works to be done to the fire door, so to make sure that this fire door actually shuts properly. At the end of the report, you then instruct your builder to come in and fix all the issues again, and ideally there aren't any issues to be fixed and your fire doors are perfect, and that is when the inspector would then sign off all your fire doors as they passed, and he would then issue you a report that passes all the fire doors.
Important to note that not every council asks for that, but if they ask for it, you better have it.
The second fire related thing is fire risk assessment. To my knowledge, most councils ask for a fire risk assessment to be done within your HMO, and this is purely to ensure the health and safety of the tenants, and they want to see that you have all the call points available, you have all the lights, and there is no such thing as a fire hazard in the fire escape route. There are the correct fire doors installed in every room and opening.
It's a thorough review of your house in case of a fire. How well protected are the tenants? Mm-hmm. So the next fire related certificate is a fire alarm certificate. That depends on the size of your HMO, what sort of fire alarm do you have in there? Is there a panel? Is there not? And that depends on how big is your HMO, how many floors. When you have a fire alarm system in your HMO, you need to make sure that there is a certificate for it, that it has been installed properly and that it actually works. The last fire-related certificate would be the emergency lighting certificate. Again, probably not every HMO needs it. It is required when the HMO is a certain size and you actually have those small lights that say, well, this is the way down, and all that system also needs to be tested, because in the event of the electricity just shutting down because of the fire, is like a small dim light so that the tenants can still find their way out of the building. 2 more certificates for your electrician. One is an EICR. So that is the electrical safety certificate, that all the wiring in your property is good, and that needs to be renewed at a certain interval and you need to stick to it, make sure that the wiring is up to date. And if you have any portable appliances in your property, for example a kettle, a toaster, your washing machine, your dryer, anything that is not built into the kitchen, then you need a PAP test. And that also needs to be done at a regular interval. Making sure that whatever you provide as a landlord is actually safe to use and is not 20 years old and is a fire hazard as soon as you plug it into your socket. And then the last 3 certificates that you need is a gas safety certificate. Pretty self-explanatory, is required in properties anyways. If you have a gas boiler in there, these need to be serviced every year, and you need to have an up-to-date certificate and serve it to the tenant. When you need a HMO license, because you're over 5 people, for example, then you need a HMO license, and that needs to be renewed depending on your council. It might be every 3 years, every 5 years, maybe every 1 year. And finally, make sure that you have an up-to-date EPC. So EPCs also expire after a certain period of time. So just make sure you have an up-to-date energy performance certificate for your property and you should be good to go.
So there you have it, all the documentations that you need in place when you are buying or refurbishing a HMO property. We know it might be a bit dry,
but it's needed when you want to operate a HMO, and you certainly need to be on the ball with having all these certificates up to date and making sure that you're compliant with everyone. So
if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos.
Bye bye. Called portable. And if you have any portable applications, yeah. Appliances.
Focus. Why is it focusing on yours? Okay, it's a focus on mine now.
So how would I